I think this road is called Sheffield Street, but we'll find out on the map when I get home. So we're looking at the front of the Canal basin, and just to the side of it, this is where the old corn exchange was, and I'm just going to get a different angle on it for you, but you've got the Parkway roundabout up there. So we're on actual Wharf Street, and the corn exchange was here. I think it probably went out partly into where the Parkway roundabout is. To me, this is one of the worst pieces of destruction in Sheffield. It suffered a fire, I think it was in 1948, and then it was knocked down in the 1960s. Yeah, it's got fire damage, but I'm sure it could have been repaired, but you'll just see how beautiful that building is. But what I'll do is I'll show you this location on a map, then I'll show you pictures of the corn exchange, and then you can get a real view of it. But you'll be able to identify it from this Wharf Street here that ran round the back of and the side of the corn exchange. Another angle on it. So this would have been the front of the corn exchange. This whole area, when you see it on the map, it's been absolutely destroyed. But this wasn't the German bombers, this was the Sheffield Council, because this used to be all houses on here, and there was actually a church or a chapel right in the middle of there as well. So we can now actually get onto the actual maps and get the old images up of these two locations. I thought this would be a good start for these series of videos. It gets very interesting when you start to look at the old maps. I've got a map from 1903, 1905. I'll use my cursor as I normally do. I'll put this link in the description for you so you can have a look at it yourself. So Wharf Street, I've shown you on the ground, runs around the back, still there in its entirety, connected to Exchange Street. There you can see the corn exchange right there. But just notice that the railway came right down into the Canal basin area. It was an absolute hive of activity, Sheffield. I've previously shown you the school and the Park Wesleyan Chapel just there. Let's go to another map. This is a 1915 map, same again. I'll put that link in the description. So looking at the left-hand map, you can see Wharf Street just there. And if you look on the right-hand map, you can see where it would have been on the right-hand map in that section, just there, right next to the Parkway roundabout. So we got in its way into that. I think that's probably the main reason. They had no intention of saving the building. So looking at some old pictures of it, you can actually put that search in yourself and have a look, but there you can see that it still existed when they built some of the Park Hill or High Park flats in the distance. Nice colourful building, and you can see the tram tracks running in front of it. I don't think we should have ever got rid of the old-fashioned tram system. It should have just been upgraded. I think it worked much better than what we've got nowadays. But there's some fantastic pictures if you want to pop on and look at them. We've got one there where they knocked it down and made that into a car park, and I think possibly I may remember that as a kid going in there. You can see the ramps down there. And this must have been before the actual Parkway roundabout, because this would have been actually in the middle of the Parkway roundabout where they park in here, but then they knocked it down and created more car parking, as you can see there. It was built in 1881, demolished in 1966, but they started demolishing it in 1964, the year of my birth. Constructed by the Duke of Norfolk. So it wasn't damaged in the Blitz or anything, just suffered a major fire. And rather than actually renovate it, they knocked it down. Now most other cities like Leeds, Manchester kept beautiful buildings like that, but not Sheffield. So it says that after the repeal of the Corn Laws in 1846, it was used for a variety of commercial and public purposes, which seems strange because it wasn't built until after the repeal of the Corn Laws, so I'm not quite sure on that. It was used for concerts and talks by figures such as Winston Churchill and Edward Elgar. And it says it became a municipal restaurant and dance hall. So I can't understand it, but Corn Laws were repealed in 1846 and this wasn't built until the 1880s. It must have been used as a corn exchange for probably about 40 years or so before it started becoming used for other things. I noticed a bank in there. I don't know if Midland Bank used to be in there. And it also said it was commercial offices for firms like Hadfield and Son, etc. But like I said, you can do your own searches in Google and explore more on it. But I think we need to see more of this type of architecture in Sheffield built on a modern scale rather than absolute garbage they've been building since the 1990s in Sheffield.